Every day, more and more people are choosing to work from their home. You probably know someone that works from home, and maybe they approached you with an opportunity to join them. Or perhaps you heard about a work-at-home opportunity through the internet. If you are not familiar with the home-based businesses or the direct sales industry, it's perfectly understandable that you may have some questions. Questions like, what is the home business industry? What does direct sales actually mean? How does it work? Is it legitimate? And how do I make money? In the next few minutes, we will answer these questions along with many more so that by the end of this presentation, you will have a clear understanding about how it works, how to make money, and if it is right for you. So sit back, relax, and let's get started. There are basically three ways you can earn money. First, you can work for someone else. You have a job. Essentially, you're willing to trade your time for a set salary or an hourly wage to build someone else's business. They decide the role you perform, the hours you work, the length of your employment, as well as the value that your time is worth. You and I both know that jobs are the most common, but the most limiting way to make money. Another way to earn is through a profession. General examples of professional careers include doctors, lawyers, and engineers. In this case, you need a higher education or specific skills and knowledge, and you will get paid for your services. Professional services often offer a higher amount of compensation, but come along with vigorous hours and greater commitment. They tend to require ongoing training and a significant amount of time and money. And finally, the third way to earn income is what most of us dream about. That is, being your own boss. Many entrepreneurs would argue that this is the most exciting, flexible, and rewarding way to make money. In this model, you are no longer building someone else's dream, but rather your own. The key benefit of this model, which makes it so special, is that you have the opportunity to leverage the efforts of others to accomplish more and therefore earn more than you otherwise could on your own. This is how people are able to improve their financial freedom along with their time freedom. Unlike a job where you trade your limited time for a set amount of money, business owners can turn other people's efforts into personal potential. We'll talk more about this in the next few minutes. So now we know that there are three ways you can earn money. You can work for someone, become a professional, or be your own boss. Now let's focus on the home business industry. The first question to answer is, what is a home business? I mean, it sounds pretty self-explanatory, right? Well, the reality is that this industry is often misunderstood. Did you know that, for example, that according to a recent study of the United States Census Bureau, that 49% of all U.S. businesses are home-based? There are over 20 million home businesses in the United States alone, with a new one starting every 6 seconds. Worldwide, it's a staggering $427 billion industry. Now that's a pretty big pie. Now, as the name implies, a home business is any business that an individual can operate from their home. That includes many traditional businesses like web design, fashion, tailoring, technical services, repair services, and many others. But what we're interested in today is a very unique yet rapidly growing subset with a distinct set of advantages over the more traditional businesses. For example, unlike the typical businesses mentioned, this unique subset requires no particular training or past experience, very little startup capital, and there are no accounts payable, no accounts receivable, and no inventory. No employees nor the headaches, expenses, licenses, certifications, and the overhead that comes along with launching a traditional business. With the kind of home business we're going to be talking about, you can work part-time, full-time, or even just in your spare time. You're the boss, which means you decide. In other words, the home business you're interested in offers far greater flexibility, eliminates many of the costs, expenses, and other drawbacks of a traditional business, and yet it offers a tremendous potential with less time invested. You'll see why in the next few minutes. So what is this business called? It is known as direct sales. What is direct sales? What does it even mean? Well, it might surprise you, but it is something we do every day. Direct sales simply can be referred to as word-of-mouth advertising, essentially recommending something to someone else. If you take some time to think about it, this is something we do on a regular basis. We refer our family and friends to our favorite restaurants, movies, and vacation spots. We refer books, stores, doctors, or any number of products we like to people we know. It's simply part of our nature. So the fact is, we are all technically direct sellers. The main difference is, most of us don't get paid to do this, but some people do, and they get paid very well. As you will learn in a moment, they are compensated far more than their personal recommendations. Let's take a look at an example. Let's say you refer your favorite restaurant to several friends. They take your advice and go enjoy a great meal. Some of them enjoy them enough that they go again and again. They bring their friends and they also tell others. Now that is a lot of business resulting from your own recommendation. Now, is the restaurant owner going to compensate you for referring him business? Will he reward you for your referrals or every time your buddies return? You're right, of course not. Even if you did provide the word-of-mouth advertising, and advertising does cost money, right? How about a book publisher? For referring your favorite book to your neighbor who goes out and buys it, are they going to send you a check in the mail? Not likely. Well, in the direct selling industry, this is exactly what you get paid for, and very well at that, for simply doing what you already do. But it goes much deeper than that. We'll explore the exciting nature of how you can get paid through direct sales in just a few moments. Before we cover how to make money, let's put the industry in a very clear perspective and understand why so many great companies choose the direct selling model in the first place. When a company comes up with a product or service that they need to take into the market, that is, get it to the end user, they face a very costly challenge. Now, they can hire salespeople to sell their products, train them, equip them, provide an office, pay their salaries, and cover their expenses, or they can open stores and sell the products from a traditional storefront. Or they can cut their margins even further and have them sold in other stores. Now, with all these huge expenses these options carry, comes yet another greater expense: advertising. Building a new brand and exposing it to the masses is no easy task, with just one 30-second TV slide costing potentially tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars, plus radio, magazines, newspapers, billboards, direct mail, and so on. It's no surprise that advertising is one of, if not the largest expense of a company. Worse yet, all these expenses are incurred before a single product is actually sold. Introducing direct sales, a business model that not only eliminates advertising expenses, but the tremendous costs associated with hiring, training, and paying a sales force as well, or opening stores and courting suppliers. Instead, they just pay you. It's brilliant if you think about it. The company pays out after sales have been made rather than risking huge sums up front. They don't have to advertise, and the resulting profit margins are dramatically higher. That leaves a lot of money on the table for people like you. In fact, it's not unusual for companies to pay out close to 50% or even 60% of the profit revenues that they bring in. With some direct selling companies taking in tens or even hundreds of millions of dollars every year, that's a pretty big piece from an impressive pie. Now, here's when it gets really exciting. Some direct selling companies do not advertise and you are but one person. Therefore, they attain widespread exposure another way. The result is that you are not only compensated for your personal referrals, but also for the viral exposure referrals create. Think about it like this. Imagine someone shares a great online video clip with you. You like what you see, so you forward it to people you know. And then many of them do the same, and then those people do the same as well. And before you know it, that very video has been seen throughout the entire world. A little website called YouTube can credit this specific phenomenon for ranking among the 5 most trafficked websites on the entire internet. This is known as viral marketing, and we all do it every day. Direct marketing works on the same concept. The goal is to have your referrals turn into many more referrals and product sales, spreading from one person's network to another to another. To encourage this viral exposure, direct selling companies compensate you not for just finding new customers, but for finding new referrers of their product, who in turn bring new customers and referrers as well. However, this model is not unique to direct sales. Let's consider Sue, a real estate agent and the owner of a real estate firm. As an agent, Sue makes money when she sells a house. However, as a firm owner, she also earns income whenever any real estate agent in any of her offices sell a home. Direct sales simply give regular people without a product or a professional special skill set of their own the special opportunity. The opportunity to own a business that leverages the efforts of others. This is just one of the many beautiful aspects of a direct selling industry. The company is more efficient, the distributors earn money for doing simply what they already been doing, sharing with others, and the end customers win because they get access to the products and services through people they know and trust. With this model, everyone wins. You may not recognize many of the companies that use the direct selling model for 100% of their distribution, and there's a good reason for this. As we just explored, those companies don't use the more traditional sales channel methods. They don't advertise through the conventional avenues like TV, radio, magazines, and billboards. So many of them are not as recognizable to the average person. They rely on word of mouth for their advertising. In other words, unless you were told about them, you might not be aware of them. But even with that said, let me ask you this question. Do you recognize any of these companies? IBM, Gillette, Colgate, AT&T, Avon, Tupperware. How about General Electric, Citibank, Xerox, Texas Instruments, or Mary Kay Cosmetics? Well, these companies distribute some, if not all of their products through direct sale marketing. Billion-dollar investor Warren Buffett owns several direct selling companies, and many direct selling companies are publicly traded in the stock market as well. The fact is, direct selling is 100% legal, legitimate, and a respected business model as long as the company is engaged in the sale of a real product with real value to the marketplace. In other words, there has to be real demand, real value, beyond just the opportunity to make money. The confusion often comes from what most of us know as a pyramid scheme, a completely illegal strategy in which new people are recruited to pay for the people above them, with no real value trading hands. The actual value is going up and not down. Ultimately, the people on the bottom are left holding the bag with nothing to show for their efforts. As with any opportunity, evaluate the one you're considering carefully. If it's hard to see why someone would buy the product other than to make money, stay away. Otherwise, you can rest easy knowing that direct selling is a completely honest, legal, and opportunity-rich business model that attracts more and more people like you every year.